I'm going to ask the team to get it uploaded on your portal. I just ended it a minute back. So I have tried to compile every macroeconomics question in this. Yes, Mansi.
Ma'am, actually, for those who have done the DPPs, I'm still not feeling confident in the DPPs. So, will it be better to just focus on the PYQs and
That's right.
MCQs for now?
You can do that.
Okay, okay.
That should be fine. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I had a doubt. Actually, I wanted to ask in mathematics, if we have not done the last portion, the last syllabus, can we just cover the question banks? Like optimization chapter is left for me. So can I just go to question banks?
Do that in the marathon with me, no? Don't skip the topic. Cover the important aspects from the marathon.
Okay, so like I am asking that the videos which you have uploaded, rather than studying from that videos, because that is like 10 to 12 videos for particular marathons.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Take it. So let us go ahead and begin the syllabus of macroeconomics. I'm not going to do everything in the PDF. Kuch I will ask you to read. Take it, do this yourself, do this yourself. So you have to go ahead and make sure that you read that before tomorrow. Okay. सबसे पहले the concept which is important for macroeconomics is what is national income and the formula sheet of national income. तो जब हम national income की बात करते हैं, the first concept which we want to understand is what is national income. It is basically when you go ahead and measure all the economic activities of an economy. तो यहाँ पे the key word that we have that is basically economic activity माने ऐसा activity which should generate income. Non-generating income, illegal activities, underground activities, वर्क ऑफ हाउसवाइफ सोशल सर्विस ये सब जहां पे कोई इनकम जनरेट नहीं हो रहा है दैट इज नॉन इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी एंड देयरफॉर इट इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द नेशनल इनकम. नेशनल इनकम यूजुअली इट इज मेजर्ड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम एंड देयरफॉर उसको हम ये बोल सकते हैं एंड सिंस इट्स अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम तो माने वी कैन गो अहेड एंड वी कैन से दैट इट इज समथिंग व्हिच इज कॉल्ड एज अ फ्लो कॉन्सेप्ट. यहीं से दो अलग कॉन्सेप्ट जनरेट करते हैं. वन इज कॉल्ड एज अ फ्लो कॉन्सेप्ट एंड वन इज कॉल्ड एज अ स्टॉक कॉन्सेप्ट. The flow concept is that concept which is measured over a period of time. ठीक है. जैसे यूजुअली अगर कोई अपना सैलरी बताएगा तो दे विल गो अहेड एंड दे विल टेल यू कि मेरा सैलरी इट इज 10,000. ठीक है. तो इन योर माइंड ऑटोमेटिकली इट विल हिट यू कि अच्छा 10,000 बोल रहा है तो डेफिनेटली इट विल बी ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, मे बी ओवर अ मंथ, ओवर अ ईयर. बट किसी पीरियड के लिए समवन वुड बी टेलिंग यू अ सैलरी, राइट? नो वन विल टेल यू अ सैलरी कि मेरे आज के दिन एट एज ऑफ 10th Jan 1 p.m. मेरा सैलरी इतना है. नो वन टेल्स सैलरी लाइक दैट, राइट? एवरीवन गोज अहेड एंड टेल्स सैलरी फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, जैसे पर एनम, पर ईयर, पर मंथ. तो कॉन्सेप्ट लाइक नेशनल इनकम, कॉन्सेप्ट लाइक सैलरी, ये ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम मेजर होते हैं एंड हेंस दे आर कॉल्ड एज फ्लो कॉन्सेप्ट. इसी का द नेक्स्ट एस्पेक्ट दैट वी हैव वो हो जाता है स्टॉक कॉन्सेप्ट. स्टॉक इज मेजर्ड ओवर अ पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. तो यूजुअली वी थिंक ऑफ इट लाइक दिस. एनसीईआरटी में ऐसे समझाया जाता है that let's say you have flowing water and water is getting accumulated in a well, right? So we can go ahead and say that this is flow and this is stock. Okay. Similarly, when we go ahead and when we write the equation of capital, कि what is the capital at period t plus 1, तो हम बोल सकते हैं कि capital at period t plus 1 is capital at period t. And then we can go ahead and we can say that, okay, there is going to be some investment and there is going to be some depreciation of capital. है ना? तो कितना कैपिटल पीरियड t plus 1 में होगा, जो भी कैपिटल पीरियड t में है, and then you go ahead and you have some amount of investment and depreciation subtract हो जाती है. So we can go ahead and we can say कि ये जो कैपिटल है, this is at a point of time, है ना? बट जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है इट इज डन ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ 1 year. डेप्रिसिएशन हम हमेशा 1 year पे डेप्रिशिएट करते हैं, राइट? सो दिस इज ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. So usually capital becomes a stock concept बट जो हमारा डिप्रिसिएशन हो गया, स्पेशली नेट इन्वेस्टमेंट, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज नेट इन्वेस्टमेंट, इन्वेस्टमेंट माइनस डिप्रिसिएशन, दिस बिकम्स अ फ्लो कॉन्सेप्ट बिकॉज दिस इज एडिशन एंड सब्ट्रैक्शन फ्रॉम एग्जिस्टिंग कैपिटल। जो भी हमारा एग्जिस्टिंग कैपिटल है उसमें हम कुछ ऐड कर रहे हैं एंड कुछ सब्ट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं, so therefore it goes ahead and it becomes a flow concept. Now let's go ahead and talk about economic territory. ठीक है, इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है फॉर नेशनल इनकम। यू हैव टू रीड दिस डेफिनेशन वेरी वेरी वेल। तो इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी बेसिकली होता है द बाउंड्रीज ऑफ अ कंट्री। ठीक है, इसमें आई वांट ऑल ऑफ यू टू गो अहेड एंड मेक श्योर दैट यू अंडरस्टैंड, राइट, कि एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी, कौन से फैक्टर्स हैं जो इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी में इंक्लूड होते हैं एंड कौन से हैं जो इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी के आउटसाइड हैं। बिकॉज जो भी नेशनल इनकम का एप्लीकेशन है दैट विल बी बेस्ड ऑन योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी। सो इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी इज अ जोग्राफिकल रीजन, एक जोग्राफिकल रीजन है अंडर इफेक्टिव इकोनॉमिक कंट्रोल ऑफ गवर्नमेंट। ठीक है, गवर्नमेंट के अंडर आता है। बट what all is included in economic territory? So we can say that 4 or 5 main things are included in economic territory. जो हमारा फर्स्ट थिंग हो जाता है दैट इज डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी। डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी मींस लैंड एरिया, इंटरनल वाटर, जो भी हमारा रिवर, लेक, एयर स्पेस अबव द लैंड, ऑल दैट जो भी विद इन इंडिया आ रहा है, बेशक ही देयर इज वाटर, देयर इज लैंड, द एयर अबव विद इन दैट रीजन, all that is my domestic territory. Then the second thing that I have that is called as territorial water. Territorial water is usually up to 12 nautical miles from the coastline. तो अगर मेरा ये इंडिया है and let's say I have Arabian Sea and I have ocean, Indian Ocean, so basically what we are going ahead and saying that up to 12 nautical miles, usually that's the definition, वो भी उसी कंट्री का पार्ट होता है। Then the third one that we have that is called as exclusive economic zone, EEZ. Exclusive economic zone basically is up to 200 nautical mile, but exclusive economic zone में एक कंट्री का एक्सक्लूसिव राइट होता है। जैसे किसी कंट्री के पास अगर एक्सक्लूसिव फिशरी राइट्स हैं या एक्सक्लूसिव ऑयल राइट्स हैं या एक्सक्लूसिव गैस एक्सट्रैक्शन राइट्स हैं, हाँ, then that is your exclusive economic zone. So it is a maritime zone, हाँ, which is extended up to 200 nautical miles from a country's coastline. और इसमें कंट्री का सोवरेन राइट होता है। सोवरेन राइट माने कि इसमें या तो फिर वो जो भी राइट्स उसके पास होगा, यू नो, ओवर द लिविंग रिसोर्सेज, फिशेस, मेरीन बायोडाइवर्सिटी, ओवर द नॉन लिविंग रिसोर्सेज लाइक ऑयल, नेचुरल गैस, मिनरल्स, ओवर द टाइडल एनर्जी जो वहां से क्रिएट कर सकता है, ओवर साइंटिफिक रिसर्च जो वहां से कर सकता है। सो दैट इज योर EEZ. Now, the next thing which we go ahead and which we have here within economic territory, that is your continental shelf. कॉन्टिनेंटल शेल्फ बेसिकली क्या होता है? सीबेड एंड सबसॉइल बियॉन्ड टेरिटोरियल वाटर। अगर हमारा कुछ एक सी का एरिया है जो हमारे इन एरिया में नहीं आ रहा बट इट बिलोंग्स टू अस, ठीक है, वी हैव सम राइट्स ओवर इट, अगर ऐसा कोई एरिया है देन दैट इज ऑल्सो इंक्लूडेड। लास्ट आता है इनक्लेव्स अब्रॉड। इनक्लेव अब्रॉड माने एम्बेसी, कॉन्स्युलेट, मिलिट्री बेस लोकेटेड इन फॉरेन करेंसी। आपकी एम्बेसी, इंडिया की एम्बेसी इन फॉरेन कंट्री, योर कॉन्स्युलेट इन फॉरेन कंट्री, आपका मिलिट्री बेस इन फॉरेन कंट्री। सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल इंडियन एम्बेसी इन यूएसए इज पार्ट ऑफ इंडियाज इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी। ठीक है, सो इट इज योर एम्बेसी इन फॉरेन कंट्री। ठीक है, अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि व्हाट इज नॉट इंक्लूडेड इन द इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी, क्या क्या इंक्लूड नहीं होता है? So first, if there is any foreign embassy in your country, ठीक है, जैसे यूएस एम्बेसी इन इंडिया, वो इंडिया का इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी नहीं है. देन एनी इंटरनेशनल वाटर बियॉन्ड ईईजेड, right? And similarly, any airspace beyond your national airspace. हाँ, I think there was a movie also जिसमें I don't remember the name of the movie. उन्होंने बोला था कि we are not permitted to go in certain area of the airspace of Pakistan. So we had to change the route. There was some movie. I don't recall that. So basically, the airspace above India is your airspace. उसके अलावा you have to take permission to go in a certain airspace, right? तो पॉइंट ये आता है दैट वॉट एवर इज अवर इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी, जो भी हमारा इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी है, दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ योर जीडीपी, क्योंकि जीडीपी इंक्लूड्स एवरीथिंग विच इज विद इन द डोमेस्टिक फ्रंटियर्स. एंड विद इन डोमेस्टिक फ्रंटियर का तो मीनिंग ये है दैट इट हैज टू बी पार्ट ऑफ योर इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी. On the other hand, when we talk about GNP, ग्रॉस नेशनल प्रोडक्ट, तो इसका इकोनॉमिक टेरिटरी से कोई रिलेशन नहीं है, डोमेस्टिक टेरिटरी से कोई रिलेशन नहीं है. ग्रॉस नेशनल प्रोडक्ट ऑन द अदर हैंड basically goes ahead and includes the income of the residents of the country wherever they live. India माने डोमेस्टिक कंट्री और abroad, इंडिया और abroad. Okay, beta, when you copy paste a question from wherever, chat GPT or whatever, at least don't make it bold. जो बीच के दो words bold दिख रहे हैं, try to write it in your language at least in the chat. That will be good. Okay, so this is your foreign territory. ठीक है, अब हम आगे आते हैं. So we understood that what is the actual implication of domestic territory, उसका meaning क्या है, सबसे पहले हमें ये समझना था, and we have understood that. Now, the next thing that we have to understand is for GNP, gross national product, हमें resident का meaning समझना है. Right? So when we talk about resident of any country, the resident of any country is different, ये मैंने क्लास में बताया था, is different from citizen of a country. ठीक है, इकोनॉमिक्स में हमें सिटीजनशिप से मतलब नहीं है. So ऐसे ये क्वेश्चन, so what do you think, there was this actor, right, who had the citizenship of two countries. I don't remember the name. काफी एक न्यूज चल रहा था in between. So do you think you can have citizenship of two countries? Is that possible? No. Okay. Okay. So so we'll see. So resident कौन हुआ? A resident is any individual who has his economic interest in a country. जिसका इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट एक पर्टिकुलर कंट्री के अंदर है. हाँ, सो फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी कैन गो अहेड एंड वी कैन से जस्ट 1 minute. हाँ, whose economic interest is within a country. इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट माने जो वहां पे फर्स्ट स्टे या ऑपरेट कर रहा है फॉर मोर देन 1 year, राइट, एंड जो वहां पे पासपोर्ट के लिए नहीं है. राइट, रेजिडेंट इज अबाउट इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट, इट्स नॉट अबाउट पासपोर्ट नेम कि वहां पे कौन सा कंट्री है. राइट, सो इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट माने आई एम involved in that country for production, consumption, investment. मेरा काम है प्रोडक्शन करना, मेरा काम है कंजम्पशन करना, मेरा काम है कि मैं वहीं पे पैसा कमाऊं और वहीं पे खर्च करूं. सो आई एम एंगेज्ड इन इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी, मैं वहां पे इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी में एंगेज्ड हूं, तो मैं रेजिडेंट हूं, राइट. बट अ सिटीजनशिप इज अ लीगल पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस. सिटीजनशिप क्या है? इट इज डिटरमाइंड बाय बर्थ, बाय योर नेचुरलाइजेशन. कुछ लॉज के थ्रू भी आप सिटीजन बन सकते हो. सो सिटीजनशिप is about nationality, right? And residentship is about economic activity. And therefore, citizenship, I am not interested in that. क्योंकि उसका economic activity से relation नहीं है, right? Residentship से मेरे को मतलब है. So जब भी आप economics पढ़ोगे, you will always notice that we talk about resident, क्योंकि उसका economic activity से relation है. ठीक है. एंड बात बड़ा बचा कि कैन यू हैव टू सिटीजनशिप. तो हाँ, इट इज पॉसिबल दैट यू कैन हैव डुअल सिटीजनशिप. कंट्रीज लाइक यूएसए, कनाडा, यूके, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, फ्रांस, दे आर दोज जो डुअल सिटीजनशिप भी कर सकती हैं. ओके, सो दिस इज व्हाट यू कैन बी द रेजिडेंट ऑफ टू कंट्रीज. यस, yes, I think it was Akshay Kumar. So just try to understand that when we go ahead and when we talk about residentship, that is something which is related to economic, that is something which is related to economic activity. माने citizenship I am not interested, उससे मुझे कोई मतलब नहीं है कि वो क्या होती है, right? But you can be citizen of two countries, although India, China, Singapore, Japan और भी कुछ countries हैं, they do not, I think, allow dual citizenship. वहां पे dual citizenship allowed नहीं है. Okay. Can you be resident of two countries? So, see, when, suppose if I ask you that when you are producing in India, can you produce in US also? Is that possible? If you're working in an MNC in India or any company in India, can you simultaneously be working in US company also? Legally, no. So generally, no. A person cannot be treated as resident of two countries क्योंकि उसका इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट एक ही कंट्री में है, एक ही जगह पे ही इज अर्निंग मनी, राइट. सो यूजुअली नो, द सेंटर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट लाइज ओनली इन वन कंट्री. एक ही कंट्री में आपका सेंटर ऑफ इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट हो सकता है, नॉट इन टू कंट्रीज. What if I'm doing freelancing? You're still spending your money in India, right? So according to the balance of payment, you will be considered in India. Mane, you can give your service there, but ultimately you're receiving money in your bank account here. You're spending your money here. So your economic interest will be in India. आपका यहीं पे माना जाएगा economic interest. हाँ, it's more than 1 year. Greater than equal to 1 year. Number of days ना, एक साल से ज्यादा. If I have an Indian passport and US green card and my economic interest lies in US, wherever your economic interest lies, if you're working there, तो वहां का you will be considered there. Less than 1 year nahi. So as I said, it has to be more than 1 year. That's right. Okay. One at a time. If I am a citizen of India but remotely working for foreign country, what will be status of my residentship? Remotely working in foreign country, money, it's fine. Remotely, your money is coming in India's bank account. You're spending your money in India. So it remains India. Multiple business account does not matter. Money, Ambanis can have multiple business account, business operations across different countries. Where is your economic interest? That's the question. If it is in India, you are a resident of India. No, students are receiving transfer payment from their parents, na? So no, they're not actually spending also. They're not earning money.
Ma'am, I have a question.
International organization located in India. You mean their subsidiary? Like an office of WHO or office of UN? No, that's not included.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I think I hear some voice. Can you please go on mute?
Um,
A
What's the
resident can be those
question?
residing abroad, but their prime spending can be in that country. Residents are those people who, so three things: produce, consume, spend, even invest, primarily in one country. Okay. Is it done? Okay, so let's move on. So ये हो गया the main definitions. So you have to learn how to, you should know what is flow stock, what is economic territory, and what is normal citizen. अब normal resident. अभी एक और चीज है which I wanted to highlight today because we are doing. So consumer good, capital good. Intermediate good, final good. Durable, non. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जीडीपी में इंक्लूड क्या होता है. जीडीपी इंक्लूड्स द वैल्यू ऑफ ओनली फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विस. कोई भी इंटरमीडिएट गुड या सर्विस होगा दैट विल नॉट बी पार्ट ऑफ जीडीपी ऑफ द इकोनॉमी. ठीक है. सो इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स आर नॉट पार्ट ऑफ जीडीपी. अगर हम इनको इंक्लूड करेंगे वी विल फेस द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ डबल काउंटिंग. राइट. अगर हम इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स को इंक्लूड करते हैं, इफ वी इंक्लूड इंटरमीडिएट गुड्स वी हैव प्रॉब्लम ऑफ डबल काउंटिंग. राइट. वी वांट टू अवॉइड दैट, सो वी इंक्लूड ओनली द वैल्यू ऑफ फाइनल गुड्स एंड सर्विस या वैल्यू एडेड एट ईच लेवल. अब ये जो फाइनल गुड एंड सर्विस होते हैं, दीज आर द गुड्स विच आर अल्टीमेटली द वन विच एग्जिट द इकोनॉमिक साइकिल. they exit the economic cycle. Exiting the economic cycle माने क्या? Exiting the economic cycle का मतलब ये है that they are no more in the process of getting converted further. They have left the economic cycle now. There is no process of getting converted further. So for example, let's say that there is cotton, right? If this cotton is used by consumer directly, by a household directly, so that is a final good because it has exited the process of economic cycle. साइकिल से बाहर चला गया है, दोबारा आगे यूज नहीं हो सकता. It cannot be further used. But if cotton is purchased by a thread company to make thread, and then from thread you are making cloth and then garment, मतलब it is getting converted to another product. ये एक raw material की तरह यूज हो रहा है. It is being used as a raw material and converted to new and new product. Cotton thread में बदल रहा है, thread cloth में बदल रहा है, cloth इसमें बदल रहा है. Then we can go ahead and we can say that this is the final good. अब intermediate good has a property. इसका एक property होता है that it it changes its characteristics in the process of converting to final good. तो जब हम intermediate good को convert करते हैं, when we convert intermediate good to a final good, the intermediate good will change its characteristics. ठीक है, like cotton converted to thread, तो cotton changed its characteristic, वो बदल गया, वो thread बन गया. Thread converted to cloth, तो cloth बनने पे thread changed its characteristics. अब thread की तरह नहीं दिखेगा, it will not look like thread anymore. So intermediate good have a property that they change the characteristic. Final good have a property that they exit the economic cycle. Now here, just say, for example, let's take the example of tea leaves. Suppose, just imagine that tea leaves are purchased by a household. So what will household do? उन्होंने ये tea leaves खरीदा, they will put it in water, put some milk and make tea out of it. So when the household is going ahead and converting, beta, where did I write? All are final. I said this is final. These are all intermediate, which are changing their characteristic. Suppose there are tea leaves. Tea leaves are purchased by household. Household is making tea out of it. उसने ये tea leaves को use किया, milk डाला, everything, they put ginger and they make a good ginger tea. On the other hand, these tea leaves are purchased by chayos. ठीक है, they put the tea leaves, they put milk in it, सब कुछ डाला and they make tea out of it. दोनों ही केस में, in both the cases, tea leaves, it change its characteristics. दोनों ही केस में टी लीव्स का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक चेंज हुआ, that the tea leaves got converted to tea. But here the tea leaf exited the economic cycle. यहां पे टी लीव्स ने अपने इकोनॉमिक साइकिल को एग्जिट किया है. हाउ इट एग्जिटेड द इकोनॉमिक साइकिल? बिकॉज द टी लीव्स वर परचेस्ड बाय हाउसहोल्ड. सो नो फर्दर मनी रिलेटेड थिंग हैपेंड. टी लीव्स हाउसहोल्ड ने खरीदी, उन्होंने चाय बनाई, दे ड्रैंक द टी. देयर इज नो फर्दर मनी इन्वॉल्व्ड. But when these tea leaves were purchased by chayos and tea was created, this was sold in the market. उन्होंने ये चाय को बेचा. So this tea leaves then became an intermediate product. तो हाँ, one thing is that it changes its characteristics. But that is happening in both cases. दोनों ही केस में it changed the characteristics. So we need to ensure that it leaves the economic cycle. जहां पे ये दोनों होगा, wherever these two things will happen, then we can say that it is final good. If it leaves the economic cycle, it's not कि characteristic change नहीं हुआ. Here also characteristic changed. Tea leaf got converted to tea. But economic cycle का process नहीं है ना. Household, they do whatever with it. I don't care. They can use this tea leaves and make a good chola bhatura out of it. I don't care. It has left the economic cycle. अब आगे no purchase, no sale, no money involved. कुछ नहीं हो रहा है ना, कोई पैसा involved नहीं है. So we can say that the tea leaves are final good or intermediate good depending on where they are getting used. ठीक है. अब इसमें we get another definition which is consumer good versus capital good. So when we go ahead, is it necessary for final good to change characteristic? No. Just I am saying that changing characteristic is not sufficient for it to be called an intermediate good. ऐसा नहीं कि if someone changes its characteristic, it is definitely intermediate. वो true नहीं है. Okay. Now consumer good can be durable or non-durable. Durable goods माने जो चलते रहते हैं. They go on for a long period of time. Hence durable, like machine. Non-durable माने those goods which are perishable, जो खराब हो जाते हैं, like fruits. Now here there is another kind of good called capital good. ये बहुत unique kind of goods हैं. These are those goods which don't change characteristic, go on for more than one period, and still are involved in process of production. They are not for final consumption. Like some machinery. Okay. So I purchased a machine. What this machine is doing, क्या कर रहा है machine? It is taking cloth and automatically giving it some shape of the cloth and releasing it. ठीक है, माने ये machine it is involved in process of production, ये production में involved है, और ये वो machine है which is not changing characteristic. This will remain as is. This will remain this rectangular machine like this only. ये कन्वर्ट नहीं हो रहा किसी और चीज में. लाइक कॉटन गेट्स कन्वर्टेड टू थ्रेड, तो कॉटन दिखना बंद हो गया. इट स्टॉप्ड लुकिंग लाइक कॉटन. इट्स नॉट हैपनिंग लाइक दैट. मशीन इज लुकिंग लाइक मशीन, मशीन मशीन की तरह ही दिख रहा है. तो इट डिड नॉट चेंज कैरेक्टरिस्टिक. इट कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर मोर देन 1 year. आई कैन कीप यूजिंग इट अगेन एंड अगेन एंड अगेन एंड अगेन. हाँ, कुछ वियर एंड टियर विल हैपन, बट आई कैन यूज इट. मैं बार बार यूज कर सकती हूँ. सो ये फॉर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम नहीं है. आई कैन एक्सटेंड इट मोर देन पीरियड. तो therefore it is a stock variable. Concept clear करो यहाँ पे. But it is not for consumption also. Consumer good भी नहीं है. It is used for production. तो things like this, ये जो machine है, which is used for producing other goods, it is part of creating this economic activity. Will it be final good or will it be intermediate? किस में consider करेंगे? Will it be final or intermediate? Answer this. Final, correct. It is considered as a final good. The capital good is considered as a final good. So वहां जाओ, look at that formula expenditure method का C plus I plus G plus X minus M. यहाँ पे इस I की तरफ जाओ, investment. This is a final good. ठीक है, हाँ, तो these are considered as final good. Correct, 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 correct. ठीक है, is it clear? Okay. Now, हाँ, yes, जो machine production में use हो, that is a capital good. अच्छा, what about car purchased by Uber driver to give his services, to drive? Is it final or intermediate? Okay. So you have to be very clear what kind of good. Huh, correct, correct, correct. So when an Uber driver is purchasing the car for commercial good, number one, car is used repeatedly in the process of production. रोज उस कार को he is using to earn income. ठीक है, so we can go ahead and think that it will be a capital good in that sense, because it is not for one period of time. It will be over different time periods, over different time zones. ठीक है, okay, तो let's go back. Example of capital good. I just gave no machine used to create this cloth. A tractor purchased by a farmer. All these are capital good. Okay. So they have to be durable in nature. Machine हो गया, एग्रीकल्चर के कोई और टूल्स हो गए, सर्जिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स इन द हॉस्पिटल, right? Then the tractor purchased by farmer, warehouses purchased to stock your material, ये सब they're capital goods. Irrigation pump, ठीक है? Okay, come back. So now, so you read this yourself, huh? Now let's talk about this. So see, we need to go ahead and we need to fill this blank up. Yes, that's right. They're durable in nature. No, because it is perishable, no? तो अगर खराब ही हो जाएगा तो it cannot be used for a long period of time. Every investment is capital good. So it's the reverse. Accumulation of investment becomes capital. That's the equation जो हमने यहाँ लिखा था ना? That capital is including investments over time. It's like accumulation of income is wealth. जब income सारा मिलाते हो तो wealth आता है. तो जब investments को मिलाते हो तो capital आता है. Okay, is it clear now? ठीक है, let's continue. So now I want to fill this gap here. तो देख लेते हैं. So I have G. The first one can be either G or N. Okay. So the conversion is very simple. If you have gross and you want to go to net, you will subtract depreciation. And from net to gross, you will add depreciation. Then you have domestic or national. अगर मुझे domestic से national जाना है, I will add net factor income from abroad. And if I have to go from national to domestic, I will subtract net factor income from abroad. Net factor income from abroad is factor income from abroad minus factor income to abroad. Now, correct. The last one is product, either at market price or factor cost. So if I have to go from market price to factor cost, I'll do the reverse. Huh? If I have to go from factor to market first, I will add net indirect taxes. And market se factor pe, I will subtract net indirect taxes. Net indirect taxes is indirect taxes minus subsidies. So this is the conversions that you have. ठीक है? अच्छा, इसमें these are indirect taxes, huh? Sometimes you make a mistake and you include income tax. Don't do that. Income tax is not included. ये एक direct tax है. We are only including indirect taxes, not direct taxes. तो ये एक चीज है which you have to keep in mind. So based on this, I want all of you to read this. And now we talk about the different methods of calculating national income. So when we talk about the methods of calculating national income, there are three methods. The first method that we have, that is basically called as value added method. The second method that we have, that is called as your income method. The third method that we have is expenditure method. You have to also remember कि कौन सा method क्या देता है. So if I talk about value added method, what exactly is it giving? Is it giving me gross or net? When I talk about income method, what is it giving me? All those things you have to go ahead and remember. So value added method, when we talk about that, we have gross value added at market price. That is what it gives us. जब हम इनकम मेथड का बात करते हैं, इट गिव्स अस एनएनपीएफसी, एंड जब हम एक्सपेंडिचर मेथड का बात करते हैं, इट गिव्स अस जीडीपीएमपी। ठीक है। अच्छा, वैल्यू एडेड मेथड में वी हैव वैल्यू ऑफ द फाइनल गुड माइनस इंटरमीडिएट। ठीक है, दिस विल बी योर वैल्यू एडेड एट ईच लेवल। And when we talk about the expenditure method, then this is simply y is equal to c plus I plus g plus nx. Here c, this is also called as your final consumption expenditure. I is also called as your gross capital formation or gross domestic capital formation. G is also called as your government expenditure, and NX is net export. इसमें ये जो इन्वेस्टमेंट है ना, ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक कैपिटल फॉर्मेशन, दिस हैज टू कंपोनेंट्स टू इट, फिक्स्ड कैपिटल प्लस चेंज इन स्टॉक। और जो चेंज इन स्टॉक है, दैट इज क्लोजिंग स्टॉक माइनस ओपनिंग स्टॉक। राइट? इज इट क्लियर? दिस गिव्स closing stock minus opening stock. Okay, now the income method. So income method basically goes ahead, and income method also is called as your national income. Mane, this directly gives you your national income. ठीक है? Of course, you can go ahead and convert ये वाली चीजें also to NNPFC. You can convert this also to NNPFC. Right? But the income method directly gives you your national income. For others, you have to go ahead and you have to convert them. ठीक है? Income method का formula is it includes compensation of employees, जिसमें we include salary in cash, kind, and social securities. It includes rent and royalties. It includes interest payment. It includes profit. Right? All this is included in income method. Anyone in the chat quickly can tell me what is operating surplus? How do you calculate operating surplus? Anyone? Okay, okay, okay. RIP. Operating surplus is RIP. So this, and this. When you add this, it becomes your operating surplus. Okay. Now, I want all of you to go ahead and read this because we don't have time. This is your homework. Read it. क्या inclusions हैं, क्या exclusions हैं, क्या precautions लेने होते हैं. You read this. ठीक है. Now let's talk about the real GDP, a GDP deflator. So GDP deflator is nominal GDP by real GDP into 100. When we talk about nominal GDP will be at your current year, right? And real GDP will be at your base year. ठीक है, into 100. So we can go ahead and we can say that this will be GDP deflator. What is the current base year of India? Anyone? Okay, good. ठीक है, दिस इज समथिंग जो साथ साथ जब भी कुछ भी पढ़ो ना, सो रिलेटेड एस्पेक्ट, उससे रिलेटेड प्लीज स्टडी जो भी लेटेस्ट इंफॉर्मेशन है. लाइक इफ समवन, इफ सपोज आई एम स्टडिंग जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर एंड आई नो कि इसमें इंडियन इकोनॉमी में दे कैन आस्क यू द जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर वैल्यू ऑफ द करेंट ईयर, सो ये यू हैव टू ऑटोमेटिकली सर्च फॉर इट. ठीक है, इमीडिएटली. ठीक है, सिमिलरली इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, सपोज यू आर रीडिंग इन्फ्लेशन, तो आप इमीडिएटली यू लुक एट द इन्फ्लेशन इन इंडिया ड्यूरिंग दिस पीरियड. ठीक है, इन्फ्लेशन टारगेट्स ऑफ इंडिया, माने यू हैव टू गो अहेड एंड यू हैव टू मेक श्योर दैट यू नो द कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग इंफॉर्मेशंस इन द लाइव जो भी हमारा लेटेस्ट चल रहा है. ओके, सो ये you read it yourself, it will be on the portal. Read. As I said, एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन हमेशा जाननी है कि इंडिया में नेशनल इनकम कौन कैलकुलेट करता है, हु मेजर्स. अच्छा, सो हु गेव द फर्स्ट एवर नेशनल इनकम ऑफ इंडिया? हाउ अबाउट अदर्स? करेक्ट, करेक्ट, दादा भाई नावरोजी. करेक्ट, करेक्ट. ठीक है, तो ये हमेशा यू हैव टू नो ऑल ऑफ दिस इंफॉर्मेशन. ठीक है, सो सी, a revision was proposed about 2011-12 because that's a doubt many of you have posted, but current is still 2011-12 only. Revision has been proposed, has been discussed, but it has not been implemented. तो अगर MCQ question asks you, we still mark 2011-12, उसी को ही mark करेंगे. ठीक है, okay, come back. Now there are some extra formulas that I have gone ahead and I have given here. You have to read these formulas. How to go from value added GVMP to income method? Very simple. So when you add the gross value added of different sectors, agriculture, industry and service, you get GDPMP. Then you know how to go to NNPFC. है ना? Gross can be converted to net by subtracting depreciation, NFIA and net IT. Okay, now let us go ahead and let us look at the next aspect. And we want to go ahead and we want to look at these formulas of personal income, disposable income, etc. So as I said, you choose 2000 and no, base year is 1 year. So we write it like 11-12. एक साल का पीरियड है ना बेटा, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता that it is one at a point of time. It is over a period of time for 1 year. So you will always be given an interval. ठीक है, अच्छा, so here, so this is your homework. You have to go ahead and you have to read this as part of your homework. Personal income, disposable income, private income, personal disposable income and national disposable income. ठीक है, कुछ MCQs हैं, ये कर लेना. Then again, this is a homework that all of you have to do. I am not reading it here. This is just the limitations for your around GDP. क्या debate चल रहा है? These are the factors which affect the national income. This is what is green GDP. and what is Human Development Index, and what is Gross National Happiness Index. All of this you have to do as part of your homework today itself. इनमें से कुछ कुछ क्वेश्चन आ सकते हैं. You must know who gave Gross National Happiness Index and in which year, which country is considered one of the happiest countries. ठीक है? And why is happiness more important as compared to GNP? All of this you will read through. हाँ, उसके कुछ 9 domains हैं जो एग्जाम में आ सकते हैं. So I have just written those domains. Just give it a reading. Just read it through, right? And then that's it. This ends your first chapter of national income. Any doubt in national income? Anything? Important for JAM also. Yeah, I mean, this is just part of national income. So anyone can ask. So I've just, not to take risk, I've just plugged everything possible which can be asked in exam. This PDF will be uploaded. Yes. Personal direct taxes. They're just tax on personal income. That's it. General direct taxes. I mean, it's just a direct tax. That's it. Tax implied on your income. Let's move on. Now we'll move on to the next topic, which is our income and output determination. Now, when we talk about income and output determination, the first aspect which we have to understand is called as the simple Keynesian model. जब भी हम simple Keynesian model की बात करते हैं, this is followed by the multiplier. Simple multiplier. Then we move ahead and we start the understanding of ISLM curve. ISLM curve में we go ahead and we talk about IS curve, which is the goods market, and LM curve, which is the money market. Now, money market में you have to understand the following. First, you need to understand the equilibrium in money market. कि equilibrium आता कैसे है? And because this equilibrium, it consists of demand of money and supply of money. So you have to understand individually कि within the demand of money, what are the different definitions given by different economists. मतलब केन्स के अकॉर्डिंग डिमांड ऑफ मनी क्या था, एंड हाउ इज इट डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द क्लासिकल डिमांड ऑफ मनी, ये समझना होता है. देन वी गो अहेड एंड वी टॉक अबाउट द सप्लाई ऑफ मनी. When we talk about the supply of money, तो supply of money में we have to go ahead and we have to understand the different definitions of money. माने what is narrow money and broad money, M1, M2, M3, etc. ठीक है. We have to also understand that in money market equilibrium क्या होता है when we have one exogenous supply of money and two endogenous supply of money. तो ये चीज भी हमें कवर करनी है. This together is the entire analysis of the ISLM market. फिर ये ISLM market को combine करके we get something which is called as the AD curve. Then we move on to the labor market. Labor market में we study the demand of labor supply of labor, which together tell us the wage rate and equilibrium supply of labor. Right? Labor market helps us determine the AS curve. The AD curve and AS curve together give us the equilibrium in the PY domain. अब इसमें जब हम IS and LM का equilibrium निकालेंगे, when we will find the equilibrium of IS and LM curve, they may ask you in exam to tell what is fiscal policy multiplier and what is monetary policy multiplier. So ये formulas आपको handy रखने होंगे related to fiscal and monetary policy multiplier. ठीक है? I mean, national income is one of the easiest topic, but we need to move on to the actual topics of macroeconomics, right? So first of all, let us go ahead and let us talk about the simple Keynesian model now, which is the multiplier and the multiplier. ठीक है? Simple Keynesian model में the first thing which you have to understand is the consumption function and the savings function. जब कंजम्पशन फंक्शन लिखेंगे तो इट इज C इज इक्वल टू C बार प्लस स्मॉल c y. जब हम सेविंग्स फंक्शन लिखेंगे तो सेविंग फंक्शन इज S इज इक्वल टू S बार प्लस स्मॉल s y. Here C bar it is called as autonomous consumption and small c को बोल देते हैं हम marginal propensity to consume. Here S bar is autonomous saving and small s is marginal propensity to save. देखो इनकम जो है इट कैन ईदर बी कंज्यूम्ड और सेव्ड. दो ही चीजें हो सकती है, या इनकम कंज्यूम होगी या सेव होगी. ठीक है? सो इफ आई डिवाइड और फर्स्ट लेट्स डिफरेंशिएट. इफ आई डिफरेंशिएट थ्रू आउट, so I will get dy is equal to dc by ds. And if I divide by dy throughout, तो मुझे मिल जाएगा 1 is equal to mpc plus mps, where mpc ये बताता है how consumption changes as income changes, and mps ये बताता है how savings change as income changes. How savings change as income changes. Similarly, if y is equal to c plus s and I divide by y throughout, so I get 1 is equal to apc plus aps, where average propensity to consume, APC is average propensity to consume, and APS is average propensity to save. Okay. When we talk about the consumption function, जब हम consumption function की बात कर रहे हैं, तो ये जो हमारा C bar है, ये C bar will be positive. माने when my income is 0, तो जो मेरा consumption होगा वो positive होगा. And how will consumption take place अगर income ही 0 है तो? From savings. So when my consumption is 0, when my income is 0, since I am consuming from my old savings, so we can say that ये जो यहाँ S bar होगा, this will be negative. So when we go ahead and when we make a graph, जब हम एक graph बनाते हैं, what do we go ahead and what do we get? We basically go ahead and get that if this is my consumption and this is my, let's just focus on consumption. If this is my consumption, तो ये जो मेरा C bar वाला aspect है, it will be positive. And इसका जो slope है, it will be called marginal propensity to consume. Similarly, my S bar, it is negative क्योंकि when my income is zero, I'm consuming from savings. So savings negative है. So this is negative. This is my savings function. And इसका जो slope है, it is marginal propensity to save. ठीक है, तो मेरे पास एक आ जाता है marginal propensity to consume और एक हो जाता है marginal propensity to save. Autonomous consumption is positive, autonomous saving is negative. This point, ये वाला point देखो. At this point, हमें ये दिख रहा है कि जो हमारी savings हैं, they are zero. क्यों zero? Because it is cutting the x-axis. So अगर मेरा savings zero है, if my savings are zero, माने इस point पे if I say y is equal to c plus s and my savings are zero, so I get y is equal to c. So at this point, income and consumption are equal to each other. And we know that income is drawn by a 45-degree line. So ये जो point है, this point where income and consumption are equal, this is exactly that point actually where the savings will be zero. And this has a name to it. इसको हम बोल देते हैं break even point. So when savings are zero, income and consumption are equal and उसको बोला जाता है break even point. That's called as a break even point. Now in exam, first of all, they can ask you to find the equilibrium. To find equilibrium of simple Keynesian model, अगर मुझे simple Keynesian model का equilibrium निकालना है, so the first thing that we have to go ahead and we have to keep in mind is that currently we are assuming investment to be autonomous. Autonomous means that investment is simply I bar. Fixed investment. So if I say C plus I, Y is equal to C plus I. And I have to show it here. Money consumption mein I am adding some fixed amount, investment amount. And I'm getting another line here. And this line here, this is C plus I. And where it is meeting my 45-degree line, that is basically my equilibrium. ये मेरा equilibrium point हो रहा है. This is my equilibrium. But if I go to this again, अगर मैं इसी की तरफ जाऊं, so I understand that I can take my consumption here and y minus c will be I. So I know कि s will be I. So this is exactly that point जहां पे saving and investment have to be equal to each other. And investment is a fixed value. So this is that point जहां पे if I draw a investment line, then my saving and investment will be equal. This is my savings function. This is my investment. Both of them will be equal to each other. So that point, वो point जहां पे saving and investment equal हो रहे हैं, that is exactly that point जो यहाँ पर we notice that the 45-degree line जो y curve है, it is meeting C plus. Now question asked is कि what are the different multipliers which will be asked in exam? So बहुत सारे multiplier हैं. The first one which can be asked is without any other information. माने directly they will ask you find the investment multiplier या government multiplier. So this is the simplest. This is nothing but 1 upon 1 minus marginal propensity to consume. But जो next चीज that they will go ahead and they will ask you, वो basically होगा that find out the multiplier. Second one here, huh? Find out the multiplier with taxes as autonomous. Taxes autonomous का meaning ये हो गया that my disposable income is written as income minus taxes. तो I know कि मेरा जो equilibrium है, हाँ, that is basically y is equal to c plus I. C is c bar plus small c yd. But here my disposable income is income minus taxes. Okay, so I can convert this as c is equal to c bar plus small c y minus t. As long as taxes autonomous है, जब तक tax autonomous given है, then the formula remains unchanged. These will be your multipliers. No change. Right? Because these are just constant values. यहाँ पे there is no income involved. But if the taxes are given to be proportionate, माने अगर आपको दिया हुआ है कि आपका टैक्स इज सम प्रपोर्शन ऑफ इनकम, ऐसा कुछ गिवन है, इफ द टैक्सेस आर प्रोपोर्शनेट, तो फिर मेरा मल्टीप्लायर का फॉर्मूला इट विल बी चेंज्ड टू 1 upon 1 minus c 1 minus t. This will become the formula of the multiplier. ठीक है, अब एक बहुत बहुत सुपर इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट, सुपर 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 इंपॉर्टेंट, and that is the concept of marginal propensity to consume from income versus marginal propensity to consume from disposable income. कि एग्जाम में एग्जैक्टली व्हाट हैज बीन गिवन, क्या दिया हुआ है एग्जाम में, इज इट आस्किंग इनकम या डिस्पोजेबल इनकम? अब देखो, टेक एन एग्जाम्पल. Suppose if I go ahead and if I tell you that y is equal to, leave y, पहले c से कर लेते हैं. Suppose if I tell you c is equal to 40 plus 0.9 y, तो बहुत सिंपल है, बिकॉज इट इज कमिंग विद y, तो मार्जिनल प्रोपेंसिटी टू कंज्यूम फ्रॉम इनकम इज 0.9, the end. But suppose if I ask you c is equal to 40 plus 0.9 y, and I tell you tax is 20, now this is yd, sorry, and I tell you tax is 20, I ask you find MPC from disposable income and MPC from income. तो MPC from disposable income माने the coefficient of disposable income, तो ये तो 0.9 है. But MPC from income माने I have to convert this and write consumption as a function of income. मुझे consumption को income का function की तरह लिखना पड़ेगा. So I can write C is equal to 40 plus 0.9 y minus 20. So it will be 40 plus 0.9 y minus 18. है ना? So it will be 0.9 only, क्योंकि उसका coefficient is still unchanged. Case number 3. Suppose I go ahead and I tell you C is equal to 40 plus 0.9 yd. And I tell you tax is 0.2 times income. Now give me MPC from yd. तो same ही है, the coefficient of 0.9. But can you tell me MPC from y now? What will be marginal propensity to consume out of income? Give that a try. What will be MPC from y? Anyone? Yes, good. So MPC from y means the coefficient of y. तो माने अगर मैं यहाँ पे करूंगी, so I will go ahead and get c is equal to 40 plus 0.9 y minus 0.2 y. Income minus tax. So it will be 40 plus 0.9 0.8 y. So 40 plus 0.72 y. So MPC from income will be 0.72. It will be 0.72. ये बात समझ में आती है? Is it clear? So basically ये बहुत important है because every year from from JNU, जब तक JNU was a separate exam, this was a very common question in exam. ठीक है कि they used to say the marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. माने they have already considered tax वाला part. They are directly giving you this function. And when they say the marginal propensity to consume, so you have to think, is it out of disposable income or is it out of income? ये confusion has to be very clear in your mind. तो now if I tell you कि ये formula ये है 1/1 minus c 1 minus t. So ये देखो ये c into 1 minus t. Isn't it this c into 1 minus t? Are you understanding? इसको I can very well write this as 40 plus 0.9 1 minus 0.2y. तो माने ये जो एस्पेक्ट है दिस इज c into 1 minus t. तो can I say that this is marginal propensity to consume from income? Is it clear? तो मल्टीप्लायर में वी आर राइटिंग 1 minus marginal propensity to consume from income, not disposable income, but from income. Is this concept clear? ठीक है. So now let me just think of a question and give it to you first. Last part. हाँ, so I am just saying that if you notice, जब हमने when we found out marginal propensity to consume out of income, ये 0.72 निकाला है. This 0.72 is nothing but 0.9 into 1 minus 0.2. माने this 0.72 is C into 1 minus T. So the marginal propensity to consume out of income is C into 1 minus T, where this C is now marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. This one is out of disposable income. So what we are saying here is in this formula, जो हमने यहाँ लिखा है, this is nothing but 1/1 minus marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. Out of income, sorry. Where small c is marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. Now is it making sense? So you have to be very clear what is small c and what is c into 1 minus t. Small c is marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. ये है small c. जब हमने लिखा 40 plus 0.9 YD, this is out of disposable income. और जब हमने small c into 1 minus t किया तो हमें income का coefficient मिल रहा है. So that is with income. Okay. ठीक है. So so let's go ahead and take a question here. So let's say you have consumption given to you as a function of disposable income. Marginal propensity to save out of disposable income. That is 30%, right? And investment is 1,000. Find investment multiplier. Let me give you some more information. When disposable income is 0, consumption is 500. Try this. So how do we find this? It says C is equal to C bar plus small c yd. C is equal to, when disposable income is 0, consumption is 500. 500 plus 0.30 disposable income, right? Now, there is no tax given to us. Kuch tax nahi diya hua, which means disposable income and income are the same. So we can go ahead and say C is equal to 500 plus 0.30 income. Income and disposable income are same. So simply, I know that investment multiplier is this. This will be 1 upon 1 minus 0.3, 1 upon 0.7, 10 by 7. That's it.
Ma'am, MP is given as 0.3, so shouldn't MP C by 0.7?
Oh, sorry, I've written MPS and just make it as MPS. Zero 0.30, 10 by 3. Okay. You can simply use MPS. Acha, now, just see here. I want to highlight something in this question. Saving is equal to S bar plus SY, right? Savings are done when your income is after tax have been paid. So basically, income minus tax is your disposable income. And after that, we will consume some amount. And the remaining amount will be savings. In this question, because tax is not present, so there was no other thing which I could have done here, right? So it did not make a lot of meaning to me whether I write Y here or I write YD here. It does not matter to me, right? But savings is always done as a proportion of income. In this question, because there is no tax, so disposable income and income are the same thing. The question is easy. Now suppose no use of investment. No, you don't need, right? We already know the formula directly. So why do I need to use investment? You can do it through that process, but not required. This is just extra information. Okay. Now, here is the tricky question. So suppose I just change this question and I go ahead and let's say I give you same. Consumption is a function of disposable income. When disposable income is 0, consumption is 500. Marginal propensity to save out of disposable income is 30%. But now I am telling you that government is collecting a direct tax of say 15%, right? And I'm adding another trickiness that the government is making direct transfer payment of 750 per year. Now calculate investment multiplier. Give it a try. Give it a try. $1.33. Okay, let's see. So, marginal propensity to save out of disposable income is 30%. So, DS out of disposable income is 0.30. Let's see. Disposable income can either be consumed or saved. After I've paid the tax, देखो जो मैंने यहाँ लिखा था. Once I've paid the tax, I'm left up with disposable income. This disposable income, if I take C here, can either be consumed or saved. So if I go ahead and if I have to write DYD, this will be DS plus DC. I can divide throughout by DYD. और मुझे क्या मिल जाएगा? 1 is equal to marginal propensity to save out of disposable income plus marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. Now, मेरा marginal propensity to save out of disposable income जो है, that is given as 0.30 plus MPCYD, this is 1. So MPCYD, this will be 0.70. So I know that my consumption function looks like this. Now, think, what is the formula of my multiplier? My multiplier was 1 upon 1 minus C into 1 minus T, where small c is marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income. Mane, this will become 1 upon 1 minus 0.7 into 1 minus tax rate I've given you as 0.5. 0.15. So it will be 1 upon 1 minus 0.7 into 0.85. Just solve this, whatever answer you get. 2.45, ठीक है. So approximately 2.45 या 47, whatever. That's the answer to this question. So these are the kind of questions which will be asked from this topic. Any doubt? Anything which is not clear? Try to think कि marginal propensity to consume out of disposable income क्या है and out of income क्या है. This together is out of income, C into 1 minus T. But small c is out of disposable income. What about 750 per year? Not required. It's autonomous. No autonomous amount is included. The correct answer is going to be 2.47. Okay, done. Now, question number 2 from this one. Calculate equilibrium value of income in this economy. Go ahead, do it. Equilibrium income in this economy. यही क्वेश्चन है for this one. Yes, anyone? What will be equilibrium income in this economy? Just do y is equal to c plus I. That's it. And solve. ठीक है, देखते हैं. So, y is equal to c plus I. Y is equal to c bar plus small c yd plus I. Y is equal to c bar. C bar is 500 plus small c. Small c I found out as 0.7. YD. Investment. What was the investment that I had given you? 1000. Take investment from the old question only. Huh? It's the continuation. Plus 1000. Y is equal to 1500 plus 0.7 YD. Y is equal to 1500 plus 0.7. Disposable income is income. Minus 15% is taxes. Plus transfer payment from the government is 750. गवर्नमेंट का ट्रांसफर पेमेंट भी लेना पड़ेगा इन डिस्पोजेबल इनकम. तो y is equal to 1500 plus 0.7. Can you calculate this for me? 0.85 y plus 0.7 into 750. 1 minus 0.7, 0.85y is equal to 1500 plus 0.7 into 750. Y is equal to 1500 plus 0.7 into 750 by 1 minus 0.7 into 0.85. Karo, calculate this beta. What's the value you are getting? 5000. Okay. So 5000 will be your answer. Okay. So this will be your equilibrium income in the society. Okay. So this kind of questions can be asked from this topic. Keynesian multiplier निकालना बोल सकते हैं, of course, and then they can go ahead and they can ask you to find out the equilibrium income in the society. This is the first topic, which is Keynesian multiplier. We'll take a break of 1 hour. We'll meet back at 3:30 now, and then we will begin and talk about, so all this you have to read, important, read, important. So we'll begin with the ISLM model at 3:30. Take a break for 1 hour. Hey, I can get it uploaded only post the class because I need to make some additions. So as and when I teach, I understand that maybe a point or two is missing. Only after that, it will be uploaded back. Huh? Okay. So we'll do ISLM post that. Thank you. Same link, we'll continue. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So we are going to go ahead and we are going to start by talking about the ISLM curve now. So IS curve talks about the goods market. Now, this IS curve, because it is talking about goods market equilibrium, we need that the demand of good should be equal to the supply of goods, right? Or the expenses on the demand of good should be equal to the expenses on the supply of good. How do we go ahead? How do we show this thing? Well, the best way to go ahead and work with this is that we use the expenditure function and we go ahead and we write y is equal to c plus I plus g plus nx. This y here, the left hand side, is the supply side. This is assumed to be the demand side, and we assume that this equality means that there is an equilibrium which is achieved. Idhar we have something which is known as the investment function. वो हमने पहले भी देखा ना. We have something called as the investment function. Now what happens with this investment function is that instead of I is equal to just I bar, we have investment as a function of interest rate. And since we are assuming that investment is a real thing, mane you're buying machinery, you're investing in real things. So therefore, interest rate is also assumed to be real interest rate. So goods market में जो interest rate आता है, that's the real interest rate. The investment function, this investment function that we are doing, ये दिया था Keynes ने. It was given by Keynes. And it focused on two main things: the real rate of interest and the expectation theory. Okay. So graphically, we can say that I is equal to I bar minus B R, where I bar जो है वो है autonomous investment, R जो है that is the interest rate, and B is sensitivity. माने how investment changes as interest rate changes. ठीक है. We assume कि ये B positive है because already there is a negative sign associated with it. So the relation between investment and interest rate automatically becomes negative. Automatically investment और interest rate का बीच का relationship negative हो जाता है, which means as interest rate increases, investment decreases and vice versa. ठीक है. Now, what is autonomous investment? Autonomous investment माने it is an investment which you will do irrespective of interest rate. ठीक है. The second part that we have, that is something which depends on interest rate. So if interest rate is 0, then investment is only autonomous investment, case 1. And case 2, if even B is 0, माने investment insensitive है, उसको interest rate से फर्क नहीं. If B is 0, then also investment will be equal to autonomous investment. ठीक है. This function is drawn like this. ऐसा draw करते हैं. Here you have I bar and then this is I bar minus PR. This is how we can go ahead and draw the investment function. Okay. The investment function sometimes, कभी-कभी investment function को हम as a function of output भी लिखते हैं. Right? So sometimes you will notice that investment is written as a function of output, the space, RY space for IS curve. RY space for LM curve. Here we have investment and interest rate. So again, it depends. I think ये मैंने पहले भी कभी आंसर दिया है. So usually investment is a function of interest rate. So under usual circumstances, whatever is a function that should come on y-axis. But for our analysis in economics, क्योंकि हम हमेशा inverse follow करते हैं, we always follow inverse demand curve, inverse supply curve. तो ये investment भी inverse draw किया जाता है. So we take R here and I here, right? So although this should have been correct, that investment is a function of interest rate, but you will always notice that it will be RI space. R जो है वो y axis में लिया जाएगा. R will be taken in the y axis. ठीक है? Okay. अच्छा, अब हम बात करते हैं that the investment interest rate concept. हाँ, so बहुत simple. So I'm just saying that investment is a negative function of interest rate. Investment is negatively related to interest rate. ठीक है, we are saying that as interest rate increases, it's like this. जब interest rate high होता है, so suppose I want to invest by taking a loan. So when interest rate is high, then cost of loan is high. When cost of loan is high, so investment will automatically be low. So we are drawing this negative relationship between investment and interest rate. ये negative sign ये show कर रहा है. And ये B बता रहा है that how much investment will change when interest rate changes. Okay. ठीक है. So now there is sometimes investment is written as a function of output. ठीक है. And this is called as the accelerator based model. ठीक है, which I will talk about more about this in the next marathon. तो next marathon में we will cover types of consumption theories and types of investment theories. उसमें I will talk about this in a bit detail so that I incorporate that in notes. आज के notes में it's not there. तब हम इसके बारे में बात करेंगे कि what is an accelerator based model. अब sometimes we want to understand कि what are the determinants of investment. Give me a minute. अभी देखती हूँ चार्ट विंडो. हाँ, determinants of investment. Okay. Here you go. LM is a function of nominal interest rate. Yes. Done. तो once I do ये एक बारी पूरा let's wrap up the macro marathon topic wise. उसके बाद I will give you a list of MCQs which are important and you have to practice them. हाँ. अच्छा, अब देखो जरा. So let's talk about the determinants of investment. The determinants of investment उसमें आ जाता है हमारा expected profitability. Then we have something called as business confidence. ठीक है. Then we have something called as technological change. ठीक है. फिर गवर्नमेंट पॉलिसीज. ठीक है. हाउ मच कैपेसिटी यू कैन यूज, कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन. बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स हैं जिसपे इन्वेस्टमेंट विल डिपेंड, है ना. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल बहुत बेसिक फैक्टर, आई मे हैव मनी, माने आई मे वांट मनी टू बाय एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, बट वो मनी नो वन इज विलिंग टू गिव मी लोन. ठीक है. आई हैव द एबिलिटी टू रीपे द लोन. ठीक है. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं बिजनेस रन कर रही हूँ, सो यू वुड बी अवेयर कि in business it is difficult to get a loan. It's very difficult to get home loan या कोई और loan. But if you're salaried, तो उनको पता है that every month you will get a salary. So if you show your 3-month salary slip, it is easy to get a loan. So the next thing that arises is something like availability of credit. Do you have people जो आपको loan दे सकते हैं for you to invest or not? So you can think of many factors जो investment को determine करेंगे. If there is a technological change, पूरा all other people are adapting to new technology, सब नई नई चीजें ले रहे हैं, तो business में I also have to buy a new thing. ठीक है, so it depends how things are in the business. But इसमें सबसे important factor which most of the books will focus on, that is expected profitability, और यहीं से we get another term which is MEC oblique MEK. Anyone aware of this term? MEC or MEK? Not EK, it would be MPK rather. What is MEC? Marginal efficiency of capital. Good. ठीक है, so we get another important aspect यहाँ पे which is called as marginal efficiency of capital. Now what does this mean? देखो, marginal means what? Extra. So when I employ extra unit of capital, what is the extra efficiency I get? तो ये marginal efficiency of capital, ये भी एक Keynesian concept है. This is also a Keynesian concept, right? And this basically goes ahead and ये measure करता है the expected rate of return over the cost from an extra unit of capital. माने when I employ an extra unit of capital, what is the extra net return I get from it? ठीक है, that is basically marginal efficiency of capital. Marginal efficiency of capital का the simplest formula that books use, K, huh? That is basically, so again, माने some books will write capital as C and some will write capital as K. MEC भी हो सकता है, MEK भी हो सकता है, right? So MEC or MEK, this is expected annual return by cost of capital into 100. Expected annual return by cost of capital into 100. ठीक है? And condition रहता है that if marginal efficiency of capital is greater than the interest rate, जिस पे आपने लोन लिया या आपका it's a return. So if MEC is greater than R, then you will invest. If MEC is equal to R, that is your equilibrium amount of capital. यहाँ पे continue investment. ठीक है? And if MEC is less than R, then you will disinvest. Yeah, disinvest will be a wrong word to say. माने you will not invest. वो वाला it is not a good investment. So do not invest will be the right English for this. Right? So this is how MEC and investment decisions are concerned. ठीक है? अब इसमें अगर हमें ये MEC नहीं पता, if I don't know this, then I can also use marginal product of capital. Because what is marginal product of capital telling me? It is telling me what is the extra output produced when extra amount of capital is employed. And अगर मैं इसका valuation निकालूं, if I find the value of this, value of marginal product of capital, so I get कि कितना extra earning I am doing. And R is the interest I am paying on the loan जिससे मैंने capital बनाया है. So in a way, this can also help me compare whether I should be investing or not. Okay, so if MEC is not given, then you can go ahead and you can also use MPK for the purpose of comparison. Okay, so I'm saying if I don't know this, अगर मुझे ये values नहीं पता हैं, then I can use the value of marginal product of capital. So marginal product of capital is extra output produced when extra capital is employed. When I find its value, it means कि एक तरीके से मैंने निकाला कि what is the extra return I will get from extra capital. Additional return from the capital. Right? And R is the cost of capital. So I can also compare these two to make my investment decisions. Clear? So you have to think कि MEC is, यहाँ पे एक बहुत important word है, MEC is expected. माने MEC is not dependent on current profit. MEC depend कर रहा है कि if I put a machine, अगर मैं आज एक machine लगाती हूँ, what will be my future stream of payment that will be released? How much extra profit I will make from the future? कितना extra profit मैं बनाऊंगी? Right? That is MEC. Actually, both are different. But if one is not given, so then second can be used. This is what I'm saying. They're not interchangeable. So if I have to write, लिख लो एक बारी, MEC, this is expected माने I am making investment today. मैंने machine आज खरीदा है. I have purchased the machine today, but उसका return will be a stream of future returns. हाँ, उसका return will not be today itself. I will get it over the years. So expected rate of return on additional unit of capital asset. Right? So it is forward looking concept. माने it is based on expectation. ठीक है? So MEC equal to R, ये मेरा equilibrium condition है to find exactly how much capital I will be buying. Whereas the other one is marginal product of capital. ठीक है? So whereas MEC वाला जो concept है, MEC originated from Keynes. But MPK, this originated from the neoclassical economics. So it depends on physical productivity of capital. MPK is how output changes when capital changes. Additional output produced. Okay? So in a way, it is not forward looking. Okay? In a way, this is a current concept. कि how much extra output I produce today, उसका value कितना है? If I have to even convert it in terms of value by multiplying with price, it will be a present concept. But this is expected rate of return. It's a future concept. But even this is used in books for investment rule. So you invest till the point MPK value equal to cost of capital. This is called as user cost of capital. है ना? तो what I imply here is कि दोनों rules are rules. Both of them are investment rules. दोनों ही use होते हैं. But the point is that both definitions are not same. अब वो exam में dependent होगा कि what is given to you in exam. Which of the two? Okay. तो it's a trap to say कि दोनों same हैं. Both of them are identical will be a trap. ठीक है. Coming back to what we were doing. ओके तो वी वर टॉकिंग अबाउट इन्वेस्टमेंट तो अब हमें इन्वेस्टमेंट फंक्शन पता चल गया है एंड वी हैव अंडरस्टूड दैट दिस इज माय इक्विलिब्रियम कंडीशन ऑफ द आईएस कर्व ठीक है नाउ इन दिस comes two conditions one for closed economy and one for open economy. So if it is closed economy, then y is equal to c plus I plus g. If it is open economy, then y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. If I write import, then import is also a function of income. So we assume that as income increases, जैसे जैसे income increase होगी, people will demand more of outside products also. India के बाहर से भी लोग ज्यादा खरीदेंगे, which means that the imports will increase. This small m, this is called as marginal propensity to import, right? So whether I will have this or not, it depends on whether it is open economy or closed economy, right? Now, let's say that I have my y is equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. Okay. So y is equal to c bar plus c yd plus I bar minus br plus g plus x minus m. Abhi ke liye I'm assuming them to be autonomous. Y is equal to c bar plus c. Yd ki jagah pe I will assume there are taxes plus I bar minus br plus g plus x minus m. 1 minus c, 1 minus t, y. I have taken this here is equal to, ये autonomous है, autonomous, 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 autonomous. So a bar minus br. So y will be a bar minus br upon 1 minus c, 1 minus t. So I can write it like this. 1 upon 1 minus c, 1 minus t, a bar minus br. And ये जो था, this was my initial multiplier, isn't it? जो हमने we did just some time back. So this is nothing but it's called as alpha g. It is your called as government multiplier. So this will be alpha g a bar minus br and this will be y star. This relation between y and r, this is your IS curve. And because this is negatively signed, so definitely IS curve is negative sloping. Okay, you can plot this also and you can find the slope of IS curve also. So slope of IS curve, how will I draw the IS curve? कैसे बनता है? This is R and Y and this is my IS curve. So slope of IS curve will be perpendicular by base. So you find this value and that will be the slope of IS curve. निकाल लो, find the slope. In this equation, it's x minus m. So increase in m should decrease y. But from import equation, y and m are positively related. So you're getting confused. We are saying that as my income increases, my demand will increase. Demand increase का मतलब ये है कि I can demand domestic goods also and I can demand foreign goods also. So when my income increases, demand of domestic goods also increase and demand for foreign goods. Foreign goods माने कि imports. Import also increases. That is why this is plus. Right? So this is saying imports are a positive function of income. When income increases, import increase. Now, okay, that's the first thing. Now, if you say why are import getting subtracted, then that is the expenditure method equation, right? So when we talk about the expenditure equation, expenditure method, what do we go ahead and what do we have? Y is equal to C plus I plus G plus X minus M. ये तो बेटा सप्लाई साइड है, ये डिमांड साइड है. Equal to is saying that there is equilibrium. Now, just focus on the expenditure method to ensure that GDP only reflects domestic production. क्योंकि ये साइड क्या है? This is the formula of GDP, right? You remember this is just using the expenditure method. And what was GDP? GDP was production within domestic frontier. To ensure that we only have domestic production included, we are subtracting. ये demand तो हो रही है imports की. People are spending their money on import. But I want to subtract it because I want to find out the net demand of my domestic commodities. How many people are demanding my commodity, what I am producing in India, ताकि supply भी उसकी उतनी ही हो पाए. Right? So supply is of the goods that I am producing within my country. So I have to equate it to demand of goods within my country. Na? So I will subtract the money that people are spending on outside goods, वो हटा देंगे, so that I get how much is demanded within the country. And I can equate the two. That is why we subtract imports. Okay. Okay, just give me a minute. Let's find the slope, then I will just scroll there. So here, if I find dy by dr, it is minus alpha g into b. So dr by dy will be minus 1 by alpha g into b. Okay. So yes, in absolute values, because हमें सिर्फ magnitude से मतलब है, we are only interested in magnitude. So in absolute value, slope will be 1 by alpha g into b. Acha, now tell me, how slope will change if b increases and how slope will change if alpha g increases. If b increases, slope will decrease. If alpha g increases, slope will decrease. Slope decrease means it will become flatter. ये flat हो जाए. So when b increases or alpha g increases, the slope becomes flatter. Right? Flatter का मतलब हो गया IS curve becomes flatter. And when will alpha g increase? Alpha g was 1 upon 1 minus c. And अगर tax के साथ है तो 1 upon 1 minus c, 1 minus t. So when is multiplier more? The more marginal propensity to consume, the more multiplier. And what happens when b is 0, goes towards 0? Then it becomes vertical. It is not related to interest rate. कुछ भी interest rate हो, you are making the same amount of investment. Right? So it becomes vertical. What about tax? So we know that more tax rate. Just think logically. अगर आप ज़्यादा tax pay करोगे, you will consume less. If you will consume less, then the income will multiply less. So more tax rate, less the multiplier. When you have higher tax rate, you have less money left for consumption. When you have less money left for consumption, your multiplier will automatically fall. Okay. So this is it. So okay, I will just scroll it there. If you wanted to copy, go ahead and do that. Let me know once it's done, huh? Done? ठीक है. Now, ठीक है. So now the last thing for IS curve is shift versus movement. IS curve will shift whenever any exogenous factor will shift. Government expenditure increases, tax decreases, net export increases, autonomous investment increases, autonomous consumption increases, IS curve will shift rightwards. Government expenditure decreases, tax increases, net export decreases, autonomous investment decreases, autonomous consumption decreases, IS curve will shift leftwards. Movement along the curve only when X or Y axis changes, mane changes in interest rate. Right? So this is about your IS curve. Do I move on to the LM now? Chaliye. Let's go back to the notes once. So read. What if Y changes? It depends. Why is Y changing? If Y is changing due to other factors, like when G increases, Y increases, shift. If Y is changing due to R, movement. Okay, acha dekho. So read this, read this. Now let's talk about the LM curve. When we talk about the LM curve, हमें दो चीजें देखना है. We have to study about the demand of money and the supply of money. सबसे पहले I hope all of you will revise. I think I have given it here. All of you will revise the meaning of money, functions of money, types of money. I am not doing all of this in class. And the type of money supply. M1, M0, M2, M3. This is all homework. Okay, this is something which you can do. So you revise this from the notes. Okay. All definitions of money. कि किसने क्या बोला? Like for example, who said money is what money does? You have to remember that. Okay. Now, LM curve mein, we want to talk about the supply of money. So as I said, all of you will understand what is M0, M1, M2, M3. What is NM0, NM1, NM2, NM3. ये दोनों, ये सब कुछ you have to know. अब आते हैं हम supply of money पे, that we understand that the central bank controls the supply of money, right? So the first thing, which is a theoretical base work, which is a classical plus monetarist view, and which is focused by Friedman. फ्रीडमैन ने क्या बोला, क्या क्लासिकल व्यू है, वो है कि मनी सप्लाई इज हाई पावर्ड मनी टाइम्स द मनी मल्टीप्लायर, वेयर H is high powered money also called as the base money, and M is money multiplier. ठीक है, M is money multiplier. Now money supply, अच्छा, what is high powered money? High powered money or base money, it is the, they are very important. NM1, NM2, anything can be asked, you have to know them well. Okay, so okay, so high powered money. So what is high powered money? High powered money is also called as the base money, and it is the money which is the base of any country. माने वो money है, monetary base है, which is the stock of money which is directly created by central bank. जो पैसा central bank ने directly create किया है, that is high powered money. ठीक है, it is like the foundation of the entire money supply. So we can say that this is the foundation of entire money supply. ठीक है, जो भी money multiply होगा, whatever money will multiply itself, it will be based on this. So high powered money is currency plus reserves, C plus R. अब money supply का दो theories are very famous. One theory says that money supply is exogenous. And the second theory says that money supply is endogenous. Exogenous माने कि it is determined outside the model. हमें नहीं पता क्या वैल्यू होगा. It is given as, it is taken as given. जो भी वैल्यू दिया हुआ है वो दिया हुआ है. So in that case, supply of money is drawn vertical. ऐसा बना देते हैं हम. On the other hand, endogenous का मतलब ये रहेगा that it is determined within the model. जैसे हम demand of money को determine करते हैं, even the supply of money is determined within the model. So then we assume that the supply of money, it is upward sloping. ठीक है, so endogenous money supply में we assume it is upward sloping. Exogenous money supply में it's vertical. Most of the time हम ये वाला model लेके चलते हैं. We take this model. Now, there are different theories of the demand of money also. Right? So, when we talk about the demand of money, demand of money is the money which we are going to demand. And according to Keynes, there are three main reasons, तीन main reasons हैं जिसके लिए we will be going ahead and we will be demanding money. Right? The first reason is transaction. Second is precautionary, and third is speculative. But उसके बारे में I will just talk about it in a minute. First, in the demand of money, जो हमारा first theory आता है, that is called as the Fisher's quantity theory of money. Fisher's quantity theory of money basically says MV is equal to PT, where M is money, V is velocity, P is price, T is number of transactions. And since it is difficult to know the number of transactions, मुश्किल है ये जानना कि number of transactions कितना होगा, so we go ahead and we rewrite this thing as MV is equal to PY. Because it is easier to know the output in the economy. And if I see this, तो ये जो Y है, since this is output in economy, इसको हम also we can go ahead and say as real GDP. And when we multiply it with price, जब हमने इसको price से multiply किया, so what we go ahead and get can be called as nominal GDP. ठीक है, so we are saying that money is a function of nominal GDP as well. अब since this is a classical theory, Fisher was a classical economist. तो according to him, output जो है it was at full employment level, and velocity of money was constant. So if output was at full employment level and velocity of money was constant, therefore we go ahead and we get that यहाँ से इस equation को हम लिख सकते हैं कि V is constant and Y is also constant. So whenever M increases, P will increase, and इसको हम बोल देते हैं neutrality of money. ठीक है, ये कहता है that percentage change in money and price is equal. माने कितने से इन्फ्लेशन आएगा इकोनॉमी में, हाउ मच इन्फ्लेशन विल कम इन द इकोनॉमी, वॉट एवर विल बी द ग्रोथ ऑफ मनी. ठीक है, सॉरी, आई एम जस्ट लुकिंग इन द चैट. what should I repeat? I missed this. Which part should I repeat? So we have quantity theory of money, MV is equal to PY. ठीक है, this is given by Fisher. Fisher is classical economist and classicals ने बोला है कि Y is equal to YF, मतलब आउटपुट फुल एम्प्लॉयमेंट लेवल पे. सो देयरफॉर Y is constant. अगर Y constant हो जाता है तो I can put Y constant, V be constant, I am assuming velocity constant. So these two increase by the same amount. So whenever there will be increase in price, it will cause increase in money by same amount, or reverse actually. Whenever there will be increase in money, it will cause increase in price by same amount. इसी को हम बोल देते हैं न्यूट्रलिटी ऑफ मनी. क्लियर?